Inside the entry package, let's create our controller class and name it CRUD entry controller. Annotate the class with the @rest controller and @request mapping, where the request mapping value will be /API/v1. We are building an API that will just return a hello world string to the API caller. We'll annotate the method with @get mapping. Our method will be private and return type will be of type string. We name the method as return test data. Inside its method body, we just return a hello world string. Refactor private to public, otherwise Sonalint will be yelling at you. Well, if you have Sonalint installed in your IDE. And with this, we are done with our API. Let's run the service so that we can test this API from our browser. Once service is up, open your favorite browser. On the address, you can input your API endpoints, which is localhost, running on port 8080, and the path is API/v1. Press enter, and yes, we get the response we expected in our code. If you don't have a browser, you can write an integration test for this API. Bring the blinking cursor over to the method name, then press options plus insert. Then under member, select the method up for testing, then click OK. The IDE will generate the test method for you, that is if you're using IntelliJ. In the created test class, annotate it with the @autoconfigure web test client and @spring boot test. Next, we create an instance of web test client and auto-wire it. We will be using web client to call the sample API in our test. Inside the test method, we use web test client, and because the API is using the get method, we invoke get from API, where we specify the API's full endpoint, which is HTTP localhost port 8080 API version 1. Then call exchange to invoke an API call to the application server to give us a response. Then our first test will be to expect that the response will be successful by using the .is 2 times 2xx successful. Then .expect body, where we expect the body to be of data type string.class. After which we will also invoke .value so that we can consume the response emitted from exchange. Inside the value, we will introduce a lambda body, then create our session. In our session, we compare the response we get against what we actually got from the API. Then run the test. It should pass if you followed this tutorial right. In our next video, we are going to use this service to build CRUD endpoints, that is the create, read, update, and delete APIs. We will introduce a database concept, and we are going to add and manipulate objects using these APIs in the DB layer. And I dare you to like this video. Bye.